Hey, what's up, guys? So, I'm gonna be doing a movie review today, and that is Aquaman. Came out in 2018, and it stars Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and Amber Heard as Mera, and other actors William Dafoe and Patrick Wilson and Dolph Lundgren, best known for his 80s films such as Rocky IV, Punisher, I Come in Peace, Universal Soldier. I enjoyed Dolph Lundgren in his films. Grew up with him, Masters of the Universe, all that stuff. Great to see him in here in a really big film like this. And I saw this film in the theater, and it was a really great experience. I really enjoyed this film. It was directed by James Wan, best known for Insidious films and the Conjuring films, and he did the first Saw film. He directed that film, and he's known, for his horror films he's done, but this was obviously a bigger production, a lot bigger budget. The budget was 160 million to like 200 million, and I'm just gonna tell you about the story, and it's basically just the origin story of Aquaman and how he came about, and his parents, his father. His name is Thomas. He's a Maine lighthouse keeper. He sees this woman named Alana, which is the queen of the underwater kingdom of Atlantis. She's on the shore. He rescues her. They fall in love, and they have a son named Arthur, also known as Aquaman. He can communicate with sea creatures and all kinds of marine life. And, he gets picked on by the kids because he's different. And what happens is Alana and Thomas, they get married. And because they got married and they had a kid, which is a half-breed, human, and they're kind of people, which I'm not quite sure what they are. They don't really say their names. At least I don't remember what their names were. But they have like these soldiers that come and grab Alana and take her away, and she has to abandon her family. And then later on, when Aquaman, I'll just call him Aquaman. His name is Arthur, but I'll call him Aquaman. He's being trained by, I can't remember his name, William Dafoe's character. William Dafoe's character is training him, and then Aquaman finds out that, he hears that his mom was executed because of what she did. She got married and had a half-breed son. So he doesn't want anything to do with Atlantis because he's being trained to become the next king for the kingdom of Atlantis. This underwater kingdom. They're human, but they can live underwater. They can, breathe underwater. They can speak to, all the sea creatures, the marine life. They can, there's life down under. So he doesn't want anything to do with them. So as he gets older, this woman named Mera, which is played by Amber Heard's character, Mera comes to see Aquaman. She's like, you know, he has a brother, a half brother, that basically, because they're polluting, you know, their waters, and because of the execution of Alana, their mother, Aquaman's half brother wants to take the fight to, you know, humans basically, and he wants to destroy Aquaman basically. He wants nothing to do with his brother. He blames his brother because, you know, of the execution of his mother. So his half brother has, you know, he wants revenge basically. He blames it all on Aquaman Arthur. So Aquaman has to go and try to settle all this. You know, that's your basic premise. You know, he has to, you know, prove himself. Aquaman has to prove himself, become king, and fight against his brother, half brother, I should say. That's your main premise. And it's a really good visual treat. I've never seen a film quite like this, where the special effects, you know, were so innovative like this, because everything's pretty much underwater. And they've never done a movie quite like this before, where people are underwater fighting with each other. You got sharks, you know, people riding, you know, sharks and all kinds of sea creatures. You got a big giant, you know, crab. There's all these epic battles underwater. It's just a really nice visual treat, you know. I really enjoyed this film. I really loved it, with the visual levels and just the art design. The art department did a really good job. The CGI looks good, and I really enjoyed the special effects. I thought this was a really entertaining film. Probably one of the best DC films I've seen in a long time. I enjoyed Man of Steel, and I did enjoy Wonder Woman. But, you know, Aquaman's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool movie. You know, it's just refreshing, and it's different, and it's innovative. James Wan did a good job. Great director. He really proved himself with this. You know, he's usually doing more lower, you know, budget type of films, like horror pictures. You know, he really upped the scale with the special effects and, you know, just the visual. It's just a great looking film, beautiful looking movie, and highly entertaining, funny. It's got so many good things to offer. It's got humor, good special effects, good story, a really good action film. It just, everything about this film, they just knock it out of the park. You know, Jason Momoa, it's his best performance I've seen, and he's a great Aquaman. I never knew much about, you know, Aquaman as a character. I knew what he looked like, and I wasn't that interested based on how he looked from those older, you know, cartoons and, you know, comic books. You know, I just thought he looked kind of silly looking. I couldn't take him seriously, but they really updated Aquaman, made him a badass. So he proved his worth in his own first feature film. And Jason Momoa did an excellent job. And he made him a true badass character. So, and Amber Heard, this is her best performance. as well. I mean, her character is Mara. She kind of reminds me of Little Mermaid, you know, with the red hair and all that. So I think they take a little inspiration from certain films. You know, I can see Little Mermaid a little bit in this. You know, with the underwater life of the civilization, and you know, their kind of people. You know, so I can see it, but and also some Greek mythology, a little, you know, borrowing a little bit from Clash of Titans. You know, I see the, you know, inspiration, and you know, but it's its own unique film, and I think this is James Wan, his crowning achievement. Really, he did an awesome job directing this film. You know, it's a really great film. And what's really cool is, you know, some of the visuals in this film. One that's really cool is this villain. That he doesn't have a lot of screen time, but this villain named Black Manta, he's really cool. And he reminds me of like an updated version of Darth Vader. That's what he reminds me of, is Darth Vader. It's interesting. You know, that's what he reminds me of. But that's how he looked in the comics as well. But it's just, he was just cool. You know, all the scenes with the big action scenes, big set pieces where Aquaman's fighting Black Manta, and you know, that one scene, that's just awesome. The visuals, you know, this movie's a true badass, you know, guy flick, definitely. It's just out of this world, you know, amazing as far as all the action scenes and special effects and explosions and everything, and just everything. There's so much to say about this film, and I would recommend this film, definitely. Definitely check this film out. And, you know, I also forgot to mention that Nicole Kidman is in this film as well. And she plays Aquaman's mother. And she doesn't, this is a spoiler, but she doesn't die. She, Atlanta finds Aquaman, and they reunite, and it kind of changes course because the half-brother is trying to, he's trying to, you know, bring a war with humans and, you know, have revenge and destroy Arthur, Aquaman. But once Aquaman finds out that his mother is, you know, Atlanta is still alive, it changes course, you know. So if you haven't seen the film, check it out. If you have, you know, these are just spoilers, but, and yeah, the film, I call it an ass whooping. It's one of the better comic book films I've seen in a while. I put it up on the, you know, a pretty high pedestal, because I put it up to the great comic book films such as, you know, Tim Burton's Batman and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and Christopher Reeve Superman. I put it up there along with Wonder Woman and Man of Steel. I enjoy those films as well. But When it comes to like Marvel films, this really upped up, it upped the scale. Really, it really, I was really impressed by this film. It's like a lot better than some of the Marvel films that are coming out recently. DC did a really good job with this film, in my opinion. A lot of people like this film, but you know, and I'm not overpraising it at all. I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was a lot better than some of these Marvel films that are so oversaturated. They keep pumping them out more and more. All these Marvel films, such as Guardians of the Galaxy, they keep making more and more of these, like Captain Marvel and Black Panther and all these characters. And it's like, what I like about what DC's doing is they're taking their time. They're not making so many films per year. Marvel is making like 5 or 10 films, at least it feels that way, every year. DC's only doing like 1 or 2 a year. And sometimes not even that. Sometimes they'll make a film for 1 year and then a couple years later they got a different film. So they're not making as many. And that's good because it's not oversaturated. And that's what I feel about Marvel. It's like they're making too many of them. Like, do we need all these characters? After seeing the Captain Marvel film, it's like it's oversaturated. There's just too much of it. Too many Spider-Man films as well. They've overdone it with that series. But I still like Marvel, but DC has really stepped it up, and this is their crowning achievement. I call it an ass whooping. I think if it continues this way, Marvel, you guys are in trouble. That's all I gotta say. You guys need to up it up. You guys need to, take some notes with what DC is doing, because they're taking their time to have a good story, have innovative special effects, and they're not trying to go overboard with what Marvel's doing. I feel Marvel, in probably about 5 or 10 years from now, they're probably going to slow down because they're just making too many of them. But I really enjoyed this film, Aquaman. It's a really great picture. I recommend this film. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. This is my review of Aquaman. It was badass, kicking ass, taking names, entertaining flick, and I really enjoyed it. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later, and I hope you enjoy this review, and I hope you guys have a good day. Take it easy.